Unfortunately, it is going to go downhill starting right now, and I think the worst part for us here in Middle Georgia is going to be from about 6 p.m. this evening to 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's, I think, when we're going to have to deal with the center of the storm coming through.
All right, well, we're ready for you to
jump right in.
Yeah, jump into it.
All right, good night. Good morning. Good morning, Brittany. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we have that weather-warned day in place here across Middle Georgia. That will be for today and tomorrow morning, especially high impacts from Helene, possible life-threatening storm, widespread wind damage is possible. Folks, some of us could be without power for several days with this, as I'm sure we'll see trees going down, power lines down. Also, flooding rain, tornadoes are also a definite possibility with this. Looking at the radar right now, we're already picking up some rain. Now, last night we had some showers and thunderstorms roll through. A few of those were strong. That was in association with a cold front that was to our west. It is still there. However, we're starting to watch the rain from Helene beginning to move in, and it's going to move all the way in and push out and totally wash out that cold front. So the rain that we're seeing right now is beginning to be the outer bands of the first rains coming in from Helene. And look at this, folks. We have much more to go. This whole conveyor belt of rain is going to be moving right up into Middle Georgia, and again associated with a hurricane, which is still well to our south. It is still a Cat 1 hurricane, winds of 90 miles per hour, and it is still forecast to become a major hurricane before making landfall on the Florida Gulf Coast and then moving into Middle Georgia, possibly still as a Cat 1 hurricane. That's why we have hurricane warnings in place. They have now been extended a little farther north to Lamar County, Monroe County southward, and then west, or rather east and north of that, we have tropical storm warning. So all of us are under some type of tropical warning here in Middle Georgia. Not only that, we still have that flood watch in effect as well. Coming up in a few minutes, I'll time this out and let you know when the storm center will be moving into Middle Georgia and talk about how strong our winds could be getting as well. So stay with us.
Hurricane preps are continuing across the mid-state. WGXA visited Dodge County's community meeting with emergency management officials yesterday. The agency saying the biggest cause for concern is high winds. Power lines may be blown down, which puts people's safety at risk because electricity can travel across the ground. Now, Dodge County's EMA director, Jamie Wilkinson, had also said some may need to shelter elsewhere or evacuate because of the storm's potential destruction.
If you're in mobile homes or anything that's not built to withstand the winds that's possibly that was projected to see, find an alternate site to stay for the night.
WGXA will have coverage from Dodge County throughout the day when the storm hits, and we'll keep you updated with other important information on our website and on our Skywatch weather app. Now is the time to download that so that you can keep track of where the storm is. Warner Robins city officials aren't taking any chances when it comes to Helene, and they want residents to be ready. The Public Works Department is giving out free sandbags. You can pick them up today, starting this morning at 7 until 3:30 at the Public Works Department. It's located over at 210 Bay Street in Warner Robins. Now, there is a limit of 10 sandbags per household, and city employees will be there to help fill and load the bags. Now, as we all embrace for the impact of Hurricane Helene, many schools are closing or dismissing early both today and tomorrow. Chris County schools will have early dismissal today and will be closed tomorrow. The Covenant Academy will dismiss grammar school students at noon, then upper school students at 12:25 today. The campus will be closed off completely tomorrow. Monroe County and Crawford County schools will also be dismissing early today. And at last check, Dublin City School students will report to class today, but all after-school activities are canceled. And meanwhile, Central Georgia Technical College announcing that its campuses will close for the rest of the week, starting this afternoon at 2:30. And listen up, Bibb County schools will be closed today and Friday, along with Peach, Wheeler, and Dooley County schools. Of course, this list is continuing to grow. So for a full list of school cancellations today and especially tomorrow, head over to our website, WGXA.TV.
It's day 2 of our coverage tracking Hurricane Helene from Mexico Beach, and a stark difference in the conditions compared to this time yesterday. Much of it is expected. The winds are constant and a steady rain is coming down, and the waves were about 30 miles from the shore are crashing in. Now, yesterday it was calm. We saw beachgoers along the beach. We saw many houses being boarded up. We spoke to several locals as well as a business owner. Not only them, but we saw how beachgoers and visitors are preparing and bracing for this storm. One woman tells us that their vacation was just too nice to spoil, and they're not taking any chances.
We started watching the weather and seeing, okay, what's happening here? So really it was yesterday when we were watching the news and we're going, okay, where we are, it may not hit or it may hit, we're not sure, but like I said, we're not Floridians, so we don't do storms. We're in Georgia where there's no water around us, so we just decided as a family, you know, we had a great time and let's keep it that way.
Now back to those business owners, one of which that we spoke to owns a local hardware store not far from where we're standing now. And he was actually the former mayor of Mexico Beach during Hurricane Michael 6 years ago. We'll hear from him later on in the day. Reporting from Mexico Beach, Florida, I'm Tanner Stewart.
And thank you so much there, Tanner, and good Wednesday morning, everybody. Our Thursday morning, our time right now is 6:18. Let's take a look at the weather-worn day that we have in place here across middle Georgia because, folks, it is going to be rather stormy. It's only going to start going downhill now through the next 24 to 36 hours here in middle Georgia. High impacts from Hurricane Helene, life-threatening storm. This could be for us here in the middle Georgia area. And we have the potential to see widespread damaging winds, flooding rain, also tornadoes are not out of the question. Looking at the radar right now, you can see we already have a busy radar this morning, rain beginning to move in out of the south, and this is pretty much in association with the outer bands of Helene, but it is still well down to our south, and you can see on the wider view of the radar, still below the radar scan here, but look at this conveyor belt of moisture and rain that is going to be moving right up into the middle Georgia area. So starting right now, right on through the next 24, 36 hours, it's going to be continuous off and on rain, heavy at times, and as the center approaches our area, the rain will get heavier and heavier, as will the winds start picking up and get stronger and stronger. We're still looking at a Cat 1 hurricane, 90 miles per hour, and it's going to continue to move on up to the north, still forecast to become a major hurricane before making landfall right along the Florida coastline near the Big Bend of Florida, moving right on up into southwest and into central Georgia. And notice as it gets close to our area here, still possibly a Cat 1 hurricane, and then it will continue to on up north where it will continue to weaken. Now, for that reason, we have hurricane warnings now in place from Lamar County, Monroe County southward, north of that, east of that, where we have tropical storm warnings. Warnings mean you can expect those type conditions within the next 36 hours. Now, let's take a look at the flood watches. We still have flood watches in effect for the entire area here as well. Rainfall total, we could see anywhere from 6 to 8, possibly up to 10 inches of rain with this storm. Let's talk about the winds now and time that out. This is at 5 o'clock this evening. Notice we're starting to already pick up winds 20, 25, 30 miles per hour. As the evening progresses, this is at 11 o'clock tonight. We're already looking at winds gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour. The center is still down to our south. As we get into tomorrow morning, about 3 or 4 o'clock, that's when this center will be approaching our area here at Macon, Warner Robins. Look at some of these potential wind gusts, 62 Macon, 67 Warner Robins. So we could see wind gusting 50 to 70 miles per hour across the area. And then as we get into 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, we're still looking at wind gusts 50 to 70 miles per hour. And the good news is, as the morning progresses, the winds begin to lighten up just a little bit, and by the afternoon, we'll just get back down to breezy conditions. So again, the worst part is going to be tonight about 6 o'clock through 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. That's when all the rain will be moving in, the high winds as well. This is tomorrow morning about 3, 4 o'clock. There's the center. I think it'll be a little bit west of this, but notice the eye wall right there. That's where we get the very, very heavy rain and gusty winds. That will be out of here by late tomorrow afternoon. And the good news is, as we get toward the weekend, the weather's looking much better.